iPhone 12 Pro Max. Here it is. Apple really be ripping everybody off. It's crazy. I just waited like 30 minutes in this damn line. Apple just be ripping everybody off and they just take it. Woo, that feels good. That feels nice. That feels nice to hold.
Status dive, man, I got a lot of shit that's on my mind. Trying to find the perfect way.
Okay, Google. Turn on fire.
Sure, turning fire on.
Okay, as you can see, I'm an Android guy, so most of my things are Android. I've been around with Android for about 8 or 9 years, maybe, I would say, since around middle school. And yeah, but I started as a little kid, you know, I was on Android as well. We really didn't have iPhones growing up. And yeah, I've been on Android for a long time. So I actually broke. I didn't break it completely. I just cracked it really badly, and the touch sensitivity was, you know, a little wonky. So I decided to just purchase an iPhone just to try it out. And this is just the videos about the positive and the negatives, about what I saw. 5 months since January 23rd, and this is the list I basically made. And yeah, let's start with the pros. So immediately off the bat, let's talk about one of the biggest differences between Android and iOS, which is the cameras. And I noticed that on social media platforms especially. But the main cameras, I would say they're fairly close on the high end and the high end Galaxies and the high end Androids. I think they can compete. They compete. Why? They do compete. Camera app, they do compete there. But in terms of social media platforms like Snapchat, Instagram, they really don't compete that much, because Snapchat does on Android is take a screenshot or a video of the viewfinder, which makes the quality really, really bad. But when you go on the regular camera app, they actually use, you know, they actually have a direct link to the camera. So I explain that kind of wonky, but that's exactly, that's how it works, and that's why quality on Snapchat, on Androids suck, and on Instagram and stuff like that, because it's easier for developers to do that instead of, you know, build out something complete. The camera on the iPhone is well-rounded. It's a really good point and shoot, and it's one of the upsides to an iPhone. The 4K at 24, I wasn't expecting that, but the quality is really good. Blew me away. Snapchat quality, everything quality is just really good. So build quality is good. Build quality is phenomenal. I like it. It's basic, but it's solid, and it looks nice. It feels nice in the hand as well. Face ID, I'd say it's well-rounded. It's really nice. In terms of Android and how they did it on the OnePlus 7 Pro, they didn't really, it was really fast, but it wasn't as secure. So my little brother was able to get in because he looks kind of like me. And on a Face ID, it's completely different. Face ID doesn't do that. Face ID is really secure. Okay, next positive. I like how they manage the call history on an iPhone. So if, for example, if you're called on Snapchat, Instagram, or WhatsApp, you know, stuff like that, they show on your call history, which is really cool. I didn't expect that, and I like that feature when I saw it. Tiny animations like turning up the brightness, those little animations where the sun gets bigger, and the flashlight animation, stuff like that. The tiny animations that they have within the iOS. I know they do it on Android too, but I like that on iOS as well. But that was really nice to see. And when finding cases and screen protectors for an iPhone, it's always easy because it's such a, it's only one iPhone, you get me? There's not like a whole bunch of different iPhones competing for each other, you get me? They're just an iPhone, so a manufacturer has to make it once. Yeah, but for Androids, there's so many different Androids, and if your company is not popular, you won't be able to find accessories and attachments as easily, unlike, you know, an iPhone, because it's so popular. It feels like on a day-to-day basis, more people have iPhones, but overall, I know Androids around the world, that more people have Androids, but It just seems like more people have iPhones, but that's not true. These might be minor negatives, but these are things that are part of the OS that I believe should already be cleaned and polished, which is weird that it's not, because, you know, it's Apple, right? It should be better than Android, like people say. It's a Galaxy. The Galaxy Active 2, I believe that's what the watch is called. And it's always disconnecting constantly. It always disconnects. It never stays connected to the iPhone, which is, you know, strange. Well, it isn't too strange because, you know, iPhone, you know, Apple, they don't like anything, not Apple. The alarm doesn't start off at a low volume then rise. Like you cannot, I haven't found in the app, the alarm app, anywhere where I can set my volume to start from low and it gets louder. On Android you can do that, on the OnePlus at least, because OnePlus is phenomenal and their software is, you know, up there. So I'm not sure if that's all Androids can do that or not. When you turn on the alarm, it tells you how many hours it tells you how many hours until the alarm rings. It doesn't do that on iPhone. I don't know why, but it doesn't show it. It's weird. I wrote this before I figured out you could. On the photo app, you can't click multiple photos at the same time, which you can, but it's difficult to learn on yourself by your own. It's difficult to learn. Like, I had to watch a video in order to find out that it's actually a feature, which is pretty sad. iPhone being easy to use is not as easy to use as I thought it was going to be, because it's just not straightforward, which is weird because people say it's an easy phone to use when it's really not that easy to use. Storage management on an iPhone sucks. If you delete photos from the Google Photos app, it does not delete from every app. So I actually filled up the storage, 128 gigabytes. I actually filled it up on an iPhone when I never did that on an Android, because the file system is very easy to go through, but iPhone makes it so difficult, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Notifications just suck. They don't appear. They're not always there like they're always on Android. They just don't appear. They stop appearing and go to the old notifications, which is a bad way to do notifications in my opinion. It doesn't flow correctly. It's not Type-C as well. It's not a Type-C. So, you know, you gotta have the Lightning cable, you know, even though it's the minority technically, I believe. And more people are moving over to Type-C for universal compatibility. I still need to use a Lightning cable, so that's one of the downsides as well. The refresh rate is only 60, so it's gonna feel slower than my 90 hertz screen that I was on my OnePlus 7 Pro. But yeah, the speed just sucks. You know, it's not fast. It doesn't feel fluid. It feels like I'm wasting time. That's what it feels like. Also, like I was saying outside, the speed is only 60 frames. It's only 60. It only refreshes 60 times a minute. But the combination with animations not being able to be turned off makes the phone feel like it's just slow compared to the Android I was using. I was able to turn off, you know, animations on the Android, so it just made the phone feel even faster. But on an iPhone, just everything feels slow. Face ID, everything just feels slow, even though it's not like a slow phone, but animations just kill you. There's no fingerprint sensor. I actually like a fingerprint sensor because there's just multiple ways to get into your phone and more options. I like options. That's basically what I like. Options. I like being able to choose and not, you know, I like being able to choose. Charging speed is not anything to brag about. It feels like it's 2010. It feels like I'm charging a phone from 2010. It's not fast. It's just not fast. I do like wireless charging though, because you're able to just drop your phone on the pad. And this is the first phone that I've had that had wireless charging. So that was nice to use, but it's still not a fast charging phone at all. But the screen is just okay. It's not phenomenal. I feel like it's an okay screen. The colors are not that good on it compared to my old phone. It's just, you know, it's slow. The touch sensitivity sometimes was finicky. There's a lot of bugs in iOS, which is weird because I thought, you know, it was a polished, well-rounded thing, but I found a lot of bugs in it, and that's where a lot of these negatives come from. It's not saturated enough. There's not enough colors. I'm a color type of guy, so I like a lot of colors. And my old phone did that for me, but this phone really didn't wow me in terms of color. As you can see, the one to the left is the Android, and the one to the right is the iPhone. It does not do it justice that the screen looks like that. Like there's not enough saturation. The cameras are, it's lackluster. The photo was taken on the iPhone, but the colors look way better on the Android screen, which is why I don't like the iPhone screen as much as an Android, as my old phone screen. Compatibility is absolutely terrible. Horrible. Absolutely disgusting. Like, okay, I can plug my Android into the Windows computer. I can plug that in and get photos from my phone. I plug in my iPhone, I try to do the same thing, nothing. I download the software that I'm supposed to, which is, I think, iTunes, nothing, not able to do it. It's just horrible, horrible compatibility. So when I'm trying to move files from my phone to the computer, it does not make it easy. It was ridiculous. I looked so many other places, and the only two options that I came to was an app called, what was it? It was something that I had to do over Wi-Fi through my computer, which would take so much time. It would take forever to download, and it just wasn't working. So my option was to, every time I record a video, I would just go onto my computer and download it from Google Photos. But that hits quality a little bit, so I didn't really like doing that, but that was a compromise that I had to do in order to move files like photos and videos from my computer, from my phone to my computer, which was sad. I'm an Android guy, like I said in the beginning of the video. So I use this keyboard called the Microsoft SwiftKey. It was just its own standalone company, but I think Microsoft bought it out. And I was able to download it on my iPhone as well. Sometimes the keyboard gets kicked out by Apple's own keyboard, and it's just, that sucks, you know. Like it just doesn't work. It's really bad. It's really sad. So this is the keyboard. That's the keyboard, and that's how it looks. And it gets kicked out a whole bunch of times, usually when it's security, using passwords and stuff. But I want to use this keyboard for everything because I've been using it on my Android, but nope, they just kick it out half the time, which is ridiculous. Another negative is there's delays on this phone. Like when I click an Instagram video to play it, the sound doesn't always come through. It doesn't come through fast. It doesn't come, as soon as I click the video, the sound doesn't play. It's not instant. It's delayed for some reason. I checked if it needed an update. That wasn't a problem either. Not sure why it does that, but that was probably a bug maybe, but that was a problem on here. And I didn't experience that on Android. Silent mode on this phone controls more than I thought it did. For gaming, I was trying to play Genshin Impact, and I had silent mode on, and it turned off the sound for the game, which was weird because I didn't know silent mode controls it controls also sound coming from games and stuff like that. I thought it was just for notifications. I get logged out of apps randomly. Like I have to log back in to different apps, which is ridiculous. Like, why am I getting logged out of an app that I use on a daily or a weekly basis? The double tap feature on the back of an iPhone, it's in the settings if you want to turn it on, but you just double tap the back and it screenshots. It gives you a screenshot. I had to turn it off because it was just not good. That's just not a good feature, and it just didn't function properly. On Android, you can swipe the screen with 2 fingers, depending on Android, and it takes a screenshot. And it does it properly, it does it right. But on an iPhone, they didn't do it right, in my opinion. I cannot download APKs anymore. I was able to download an APK, I think, on an iPhone, but since they're not on the App Store, they don't really function as good. Wi-Fi and LTE seem slower on an iPhone for some reason. And they don't feel as fast as they should be. I've experienced, like, it felt like a downgrade in terms of speed from my Android to an iPhone. I'm on Cricket currently. Cricket isn't the best, but they do use AT&T towers, so they can't be that bad. And once I went on iPhone, I've noticed more problems from Cricket. So yeah, that was the end of the video. Just some positives and some negatives after 5 months of using this iPhone. And that's basically it. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. Yeah. Like and subscribe. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.